Hello, welcome to this colorful vlog where I take you with me to Finland. I have been in Finland last month and I took quite some footage and I thought it would be fun to show you what I've been up to. It was a really amazing vacation. I stayed at friends and they took me places, and I will do some voiceover as well, but I thought it would be nice to do a little introduction of what this video is about because it's not my regular style. I went to Finland by plane. I flew into Helsinki. My friends picked me up and took me with them to their home in Espoo. And from there we did some trips. We went to Helsinki for a lovely day of shopping and also a knit night with my friends' friends from the knit group. We also went up north to their mökki, which is a summer cabin, and it is on a little island, so I had to get into a boat, which was pretty scary, but I managed and it was easier than expected, so that was really nice. And yeah, we had a lovely time there. It was just peace and quiet and a lot of nature. You'll see. And after that we went back to Espoo and it was already time for me to go home again. So, but not without a suitcase full of souvenirs, but that I will show you at the end. I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know what you think in the comments. I went to Schiphol by train, and traveling alone is a lot, and sometimes it just is too much. I was knitting in a train. I had a really nice train, and then I arrived at Schiphol and I had some tea and got sushi and a puzzle book. Then I got through security and into the line for the lounge because my friends upgraded me, and I had this nice little place for myself, all alone, with my sushi and my puzzle book to get through the waiting time. Then it was already time to get to the gate, and my plane was already there. The gate was open, and it all went fairly quickly. I masked up for a lot of parts of the traveling, and here we have liftoff above the clouds and a beautiful sunset. It was really, really pretty. I also knitted on the plane and more of that twilight above the clouds. More knitting and a drink and my scone. I brought scones and I had drinks in glasses and a cup of tea with a real cup. But I also cried a lot because there was a lot of turbulence, and it was very nice to distract myself with all the lights outside. I arrived at Helsinki and it was really, really quiet. And my friends picked me up, and when we got home we knitted. That's their dog, and it already sat with me on day one. We went to the supermarket on Sunday morning where they have yarn, and it's a huge supermarket. They also had quail's eggs, which were crazy expensive, and a lot of beer. Really, a lot of beer. Beautiful autumn, and lots and lots of games to play. We started with Mantis with friends, and I had a nice drink, alcohol-free, really great selection in Finland. The next day we went to a shopping mall, and we also had coffee together and knitted on a sock. We went to the library there. They have games and 3D printers, and you can all use that for free. Beautiful origami. And then we went to the fabric store, and that is what I got that day. And we had a really nice dinner and played more games, and I finished my sock that night. We played Verdant, which was definitely fun. And the dog really, really loved me. The next day we went by train from Espoo to Helsinki for some more shopping, because there's definitely plus size shopping in Helsinki. And this is the library. This is the view from the library. The library building itself is amazing, and they have a floor that is completely makerspace. I completely forgot what these big buildings are. And on the terrace in summer, you can usually sit but the view was just stunning. And the underside of the building is even more stunning. Mandatory Helsinki photo. And this was a building where the World Press photos were, and this is a museum. It was very interesting to walk past these buildings. Then we went to Snorre, the yarn store, of course. Beautiful tuku wool selection and other Finnish wool. Just a really gorgeous store. Then we went out for late lunch with a sushi buffet and then on to Robert's Coffee to pick some things up. This is the Helsinki station, and here we are at midnight. I didn't photograph the friends. We then went on a tour through Helsinki by night. My friend picked us up by car because I had already walked 12,000 steps and my feet were just not okay anymore. It's beautiful buildings. One of them is the Presidential Palace. And the Ferris wheel also has a sauna in it, which sounds really, really crazy, but it's very Finnish to have a sauna and everything. And it just was beautiful there. The Baltic Sea, very dark. And this is what I came home with. Coffee and a beautiful cup from Robert's Coffee and then some and a bit of yarn. We then went for groceries again with some more bottles of non-alcoholic bubbly for our drive to the Mökki. Well, the non-alcoholic bubbly was not for the drive, but for in the Mökki. Beautiful views of autumn, trees and lakes. It is absolutely stunning to drive through Finland. I understand that if you live there, it's probably boring, but yeah, I thought it was really, really beautiful. There was a house being driven over the road, so that was crazy. Here we arrived at the lake. We had to cross for the cabin. I had my wellies on. Here I just got in the boat, and here I am smiling again in the boat, still smiling in the boat. So it was all fine. We arrived pretty late, so this was the view. And this is the toilet, an outhouse toilet, and this is part of the cabin. Beautiful embroidery, partially by my friend, and we did it and had a quiet evening. And this was the view the next morning. Absolutely stunning. This is the view from the toilet, and yeah, it's just amazing. Beautiful moss, and I could just walk around a few times a day and take more photos of the same thing because it looked totally different during the day. Here are a few cranberries. They were pretty sour and bitter. And yeah, this is forget-me-nots. And my friend baked really nice buns. Those forget-me-nots have been sewn on the day Robert passed away. So that was really, really nice. We had a game and we played a puzzle and more beautiful views. This was around sunset and it was just stunning. We had such beautiful weather. Trust me, it was pretty cold and it was windy that day, so I was in my shawl and a hat and never alone. The dog was always with us. If one of us went out, it had to go out as well. Some quiet time watching the water. He's sitting on the jetty, just looking at the stunning view, crying my eyes out because Robert would have liked it there so much. There were also quite a few different mushrooms. It's very interesting. And the sunset was just so pretty. Trust me, this is not even all the photos I made. I've made way more than this, and it never gets boring to see it again. Twilight is beautiful. Then it's almost dark again. And when it's dark, you get stars. It was so pretty. Nice and warm under a blanket with knitting in the evening. No, more views. On the next day, it was a lot less windy that day, and that made it even better. The puzzle is growing. It was a very difficult one. Beautiful sunshine through the trees, and this is the deck of their sauna and the jetty again and the fire pit. Yeah, just absolutely stunning. Another sunset had to be documented. Just beautiful. And more stars, of course. It was so clear those days. The cabin, and here was dinner. We made pizza. The dog was enjoying the fire, and we enjoyed more games. And I had to go out for more photos of the sky. The next morning, the world was gone. The sun came through in the end, but yeah, the world was pretty much gone. Here comes the sun through the forest, and then it was beautiful and clear, and we had to get on the boat again and say goodbye to this lovely cottage. We had a little bit extra time on the boat because they wanted to show me around on the lake, and then it was time to get back on land. That's why I was wearing my wellies. And here's another mushroom. And then we drove to a cute little village that I do not know the name of anymore, but we went to Tili, the yarn store, and I met Veera Välimäki. And such a cute little village. And then we drove on, and we went to a very big supermarket along the way for the groceries of that evening. They had a really big candy selection. We played Harmonies and Forest Shuffle, and Harmonies I really, really enjoyed. And then we wanted to go to bed, but all our phones gave us a aurora warning. So here you go. I saw some northern lights, and that was really, really exciting. It was freaking cold, like -degrees, but we went out anyway. It was mostly photographic. You could hardly see it with the naked eye, but look at this. It is just amazing. It's such a special thing Mother Nature does. Here are photos of my friend. She used some different settings on her phone. It's very interesting how it looks. And then the last morning, we didn't have a photo of all of us yet, but we fixed that. And then it was time to go to Helsinki airport and visit the Moomin shop, of course. They have Moomin coffee, and they had Moomin chocolate and lots of Moomin things. I was again in the lounge, and then it was already time to go to the gate and back to Amsterdam in a luxurious business pod. The first one, the TV wasn't working, so after liftoff, I moved to another one, but that's fine. Here we are, just before liftoff. It was quite a bit from the airport until liftoff, but here we are. And today it wasn't very cloudy, so we didn't go through that big chunk of clouds. And we had some really nice views. Here it looks a bit cloudy, but here it's less. And you could see all the lakes and all the little islands. And yeah, the views from above were really, really nice at that time. And again, drinks in glass, very luxurious chips, more beautiful views, more drinks because I could, watching a movie, knitting. I used the toilet, which was something I was afraid of ever since Robbert and I went flying in 2004, and that is why I was crying. Because I did it and I conquered that fear. And here we see Germany. That is Denmark still. This is Germany. And then the clouds come in because why would I see the Netherlands? It was on the border between Germany and the Netherlands. Bam, cloudy. But under the clouds, I could see a bit of the Netherlands. I saw Emmeloord and Lelystad, and also the dike, Enkhuizen, Lelystad, where Robbert and I actually drove over. So that was really cool. So we took a turn to the right, and really nice clouds and the sun through it. It was very pretty to look out. I really enjoy sitting at a window, as you can see. And then we took a turn to the left and straight to Schiphol there. And then we landed, and it was time to get my luggage and another trip to the sushi store and go to the train to go home. Not a sushi dinner and a really, really busy train. But I managed some knitting after all. And then I was home. And here you can see everything I brought with me, all the souvenirs and extras. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was quite the table full of souvenirs. I really enjoyed shopping there. And there was lots of stuff not for me in there. Some yarn for a friend, thank yous for watching my house, watching the cats, for my mom some things. People took me to the train station or picked me up, so thank yous for that. I just really enjoyed bringing something from Finland for them. So yeah. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.